Imagine falling asleep, not on a soft pillow, but on a block of stone. In ancient Egypt, that wasn't torture, it was protection. This civilization, famous for pyramids and pharaohs, hides secrets stranger than fiction. It sounds strange, maybe even uncomfortable, yet for them this was daily reality. And it's only one of many secrets hidden beneath the sands of Egypt. Today, we'll uncover 5 incredible facts that show just how advanced and at the same time surprising this ancient civilization truly was. Welcome to Egypt Uncovered, the series where we bring to light the hidden stories and mysteries of the ancient world. If you're ready to be amazed, let's begin. The first stop on our journey is the Egyptian pillow. Unlike the soft cushions we imagine, the Egyptians rested their heads on carved headrests made of alabaster, wood, or even stone. At first glance, this seems more like a torture device than a pillow. But for the Egyptians, it wasn't about comfort. It was about protection. They believed the head was the seat of life, the most sacred part of the body, and needed to be guarded even during sleep. Some headrests were carved with images of Bez, the dwarf god who protected sleepers from evil spirits. Archaeologists have discovered exquisite examples in tombs, which means these weren't just daily objects, they were ritual tools meant to safeguard a person's soul as it traveled between the worlds of sleep and eternity. From here, we move to the rulers themselves. When you picture a pharaoh, what comes to mind? The golden mask of Tutankhamun? The statues of Ramses II? One detail you may have overlooked is the pharaoh's beard, often long and braided, pointing toward the ground. But here's the secret. Many of those beards weren't real. They were artificial, made from metal, and strapped to the chin with ribbons. This was more than decoration. The false beard symbolized the pharaoh's identity as a living god, connected directly to Osiris, the god of the afterlife. Even Hatshepsut, one of the few female pharaohs, was depicted with a ceremonial beard. This wasn't fashion, this was political theater. Every ruler had to present themselves as timeless, divine, and unchanging, the very foundation of Egyptian power. But Egypt wasn't only about power and symbols. It was also one of the birthplaces of science. The Egyptians left behind some of the earliest medical texts in history. The Ebers Papyrus, dating back to around 1550 BCE, is a massive scroll that describes hundreds of treatments, from soothing toothaches with herbs to diagnosing mental health issues to even attempting surgeries. They crafted prosthetics, like the famous wooden toe found on a mummy, and their doctors were so specialized that some treated only eyes, while others focused just on teeth or the stomach. Of course, medicine was still tied to religion. Spells and prayers often accompanied remedies. But this blending of science and spirituality created a medical tradition that influenced Greek physicians centuries later. Imagine walking into an Egyptian temple. It wasn't just a place of worship, but also a place of healing. And speaking of temples, let's talk about their other role. Because temples weren't simply for prayer, they were also the banks of ancient Egypt. Take the Temple of Karnak. Beyond its towering columns and sacred halls, it controlled vast estates, employed thousands of workers, stored grain, and even lent resources. Temples held economic power that sometimes rivaled even the pharaoh himself. Priests weren't just religious figures, they were administrators, treasurers, and political power players. So when you picture a temple rising on the Nile, imagine not only the chants of prayer, but also the bustling accounts of a vast financial empire. More, if you were a citizen of Egypt and step into a temple, and you'd hear the gods speak too. But the voices weren't divine, they were engineered. Priests designed temples with hidden chambers, using stone acoustics to carry sound in ways that seemed otherworldly. Imagine standing before a massive statue, and suddenly, it talks to you. For the people of Egypt, this wasn't trickery. It was proof of divine presence, and it bound them to their faith with awe. And then, of course, there's Cleopatra. The last pharaoh of Egypt is remembered as a queen of beauty. But what you may not know is the lengths she went to maintain it. According to ancient accounts, Cleopatra's lipstick was made from crushed carmine beetles mixed with wax and oils. She is said to have bathed in milk and honey to preserve her skin. And even everyday Egyptians used cosmetics with a mix of purpose and meaning. The iconic black coal eyeliner wasn't just for beauty. It protected against infections and was believed to ward off the evil eye. For Cleopatra, beauty was not vanity. It was power, carefully constructed through traditions that tied health, magic, and politics together. So, from stone pillows to false beards, from ancient medical texts to temples doubling as banks, and finally Cleopatra's beetle lipstick, these five facts remind us that Egypt was far more advanced, far stranger, and far more fascinating than most of us realize. Which one of these surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because this is just the beginning of our journey. This is Egypt Uncovered, and we've only scratched the surface of the mysteries waiting to be revealed.